Hi, do you hear me? Yes. Perfect. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. So I hope you will enjoy my French accent. Sorry for that. So my name is Sabri. I lead the R&D department at Nova in Belgium. Perfect. So I've been leading researches in AI, data management, big data, for more than 10 years. I've been deploying AI use cases in production, and I have to say that it's really, really cool. That's something I really love. And especially when it comes to change your life as a consumer. I really love AI when it comes to improve your digital transformation and when it can impact your life as a consumer. Let me tell you a story, a true story, by the way. So 2 weeks ago, I was searching for my new smartwatch. Yeah, I'm a kind of geek. And I was on this fantastic Chinese website, and I saw this beautiful watch. And I was looking for these brown leather straps. But I didn't find a way to order that brown leather straps on the website. So I started discussing with a chatbot. And the chatbot told me, well, yes, that brown leather straps on that picture, well, we do not sell it. However, here is the link to order these brown leather straps on Amazon. And if you want, we can bundle this order on Amazon with the order on the website of your watch. Isn't it just amazing? It's really, really cool. And if you're here today, it's probably because you are thinking about how you can use AI to improve the life of your consumer, to improve your processes, to make more value out of your assets. And you're right, because you have the data and you have the processes, the customers, the channels. However, between your data and between your smart value-added services, it could be a bit more complicated than expected. This is where you can find some complexity. Let me show you some number. The average price of a simple AI/big data use case is between $500,000 and $1 million, just for one small normal use case, not a big thing. Why? Because of the complexity of the underlying technology, because of the complexity of the scalability of the system, data integration, finding your data. There is many things that make this kind of architecture quite complex. In addition, if you would like to design this kind of system, to deploy them, to maintain them, you need skilled people. And this is quite tricky today. There is this very interesting study from the EU Commission showing that by next year, we are going to lack in Europe about 700,000 skilled people in data science and data engineering. So, well, without that kind of skills, you can still try to deal yourself with this complexity, but that will really impact the value, and you will end up with a much bigger time to market. And because it's complex, everything on that architecture becomes costly, like just the compliancy. Here it's an example of the GDPR if you are dealing with EU data, but it's the same if you have financial compliancy. Because the underlying system is complex, providing the compliancy to financial regulation will be complex as well. And finally, there is this very interesting study from SAP, from SAP, showing that by the lack of data governance and by the lack of data quality, 40% of the data-driven projects are failing. still because of this underlying complexity. And the interesting thing here is that it's not new. These issues actually exist for a long time. They're just now more highlighted with AI and big data. But I've been resolving this kind of issue in terms of data for more than 10 years in telecom, insurance, pharma, logistics. I've been using solutions coming from data architecture, data management, big data itself. It's always the same problem and always the same solution. And actually, you could try dealing yourself with this kind of issues. You could. You will take time. And if you spend time on that, you are not spending time on the most valuable asset for your company, the data and the AI. You are not finding the right time for creating value out of AI. Let me continue showing you number. I like the number. So if you take the typical resources split of an AI use case, usually you will find that 10% of your resources of an AI use case will be assigned to AI. The modeling, the only thing that creates really the value. 30% will be assigned to the UI, the reports, and 60% will be assigned to the data engineering. All this pipeline that creates this complexity, scaling this pipeline, finding the pipeline, deploying them, maintaining them, data integration, all the problem linked to the data itself. And that's probably okay for 1 or 2 use cases. But as soon as you get 5, 6, 10, 15, that starts really impacting your value, really. The issue with that model is that you misuse your data scientists. They are doing something else than AI. And the consequence is that they're just leaving. You have a way bigger time to market with that approach. And finally, you end up with a complex and not sustainable solution situation. And what if you could have a product that can change that model? What if rather than having 60% of your resources spent on data and data engineering, you could reduce that to 15%? Well, in that case, that means that you can assign more time on AI. You can try to get more accuracy. You can try to get more value, more impact. And you can have a way shorter time to market for your AI use cases. That's exactly the value proposition of Digazu. Automate, simplify, and deploy in production your AI without any additional complexity. Dream your AI business, and Digazu takes care of the rest. I would say of your data mess. So what is exactly Digazu? Digazu is a completely integrated and managed data lake. It could support stream, real-time, and batch. And you can quite easily deploy your data pipeline. You just drag and drop some graphical elements, and automatically, behind the scene, we will deploy that pipeline in big data stack. You don't need to know anything about the underlying technology. Digazu deals with that. And by the way, Gartner has a definition for that. As soon as you have a data lake, and as soon as you are able to distribute the data to any data consumer within your company, you have a data hub. So by this definition, Digazu is a data hub. It opens the door to the regulatory compliancy by providing out-of-the-box connector to metadata management and governance tools. It could be deployed on-prem or on cloud. And the last feature I really love, it really works. You need really to test it. It really works. So now let me show you some example to give you just an idea about how you can use Digazu in your business. Of course, they are just examples, and it could be really adapted and customized to your business domain. The first example is a real-time scoring application. So let's imagine that you are, let's say, a bank, and you would like to provide a kind of customized credit offer on the website. After a few clicks, you would like to see a pop-up window with a customized credit offer. To do that, you need to combine hot and cold data. The hot data are the real-time click streams coming from the website. The cold data are the data residing on the data lake, like the customer profile, the list of contracts, potentially the blacklist, the credit card blacklist, and you need to combine this hot and cold data in less than 200 milliseconds. Once you have combined them, you can call your machine learning algorithm that will define which content to show up in the website. So to combine hot and cold data in real time, Digazu can do that for you. A second use case is the customer 360-degree view, very used in marketing. So here, well, let's imagine that business lines require to have one unified and consolidated view of your customer profile. However, most of the data are split among a significant number of data sources. And the challenge here lays into the data consistency. How to always have a consistent view of your consumer data, knowing that some systems send their updates weekly, other daily, other in real time, and you always need to have a unified, consistent view. To combine a significant number of data sources in real time or in batch, Digazu can do that for you. Another very interesting use case that we are developing now in Europe is what we call the IoT integration in smart buildings. So let's imagine that now you are building a building, you are developing a building, and you would like to keep this building connected. You can sell it, but after this sales, you would like the building remaining connected. And you would like to have all the data flowing from the building to a platform on which you can exploit this data for offering value-added services like access management, like waiting time management for the queue, like the heating control system, lighting control system, and you would like to have energy control, and you would like to have everything packaged as value-added services. So here you need a platform to collect, store, and then analyze data to create value-added services. Digazu can do that for you here. So if I would like you to keep one thing in mind after this talk, is that between your data and between the smart services, the AI you can provide to your use cases, in between there is some complexity. And Digazu can significantly reduce that complexity. We offer the benefit of 10 years of experience in data, in a product. And if you need any help or any advices on the machine learning model to develop, then the mother company, Uranova, can offer you the benefit of 10 years of experience in data science. So together, Digazu and Uranova services in machine learning can really impact your business. Together, we can create challenge. We can create value out of your challenge. So please, take time to come at our booth here, and let's discuss how we can create value together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabri. Would you like to take questions? Do we have any questions for Sabri? Here.
Considering the data leak, is there any standard or best practice for the storage of the data or modeling the data in the data leak?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't get the beginning.
For the data leak,
Yes.
is there any standard or best practice for how the data should be stored and how the data should be modeled in the data leak to enable, for example, real-time analytics and this integration?
Well, yeah, so that's a really big topic, actually. Well, actually, there is two questions in your question. First, it's what kind of predefined model we should have in the data lake. And secondly is how we can, whatever model we have in data lake, how we can enforce that model into the real-time data flow. Well, that's a tricky question, actually. There is, yes, indeed, best practice. And depending still on what you would like to do with the data lake. My advice will be that on data lake, you should have the most agnostic, the most generic model, which is somehow the duplicate of your operational system model, but with metadata management. Metadata management will make the difference in terms of governance. That will help you to define what kind of data you have, how you can find back data afterwards, and then this kind of metadata tagging could be done as well in terms of pre-processing in real time. So that means that you have your data lake model as generic as possible, which is a kind of golden copy of your operational system. With a metadata management strategy, you can tag at the ingestion time, you can tag the data to really organize it correctly. That would be my advice. Any other question?
Do we have any more questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.